Hi guys, welcome back. Today I have a question, and my question is, why do you go to church? Okay, so this isn't to, admonish anybody's faith at all. I can give you one of the reasons why I used to go to church. I don't actually go to church now, but I used to go to church to spend time with my mum, to be honest, because at the time, she was an avid church goer. So it was like a nice thing to do. I used to go. What I wanted to get out of it, I wasn't really getting. I wanted there to be more discussions and debate around the word, more knowledge and just something that I didn't really feel I was getting. But what I was getting was time with my mum, and then we'd go back and have Sunday dinner and stuff like that. So yeah, in the end, it was like a labor of love for me. I couldn't, there was a time I was going to teach like the Sunday school, and I did maybe a couple of sessions, but I actually didn't feel comfortable sharing some of that with the children. I felt like I was kind of misinforming them in a way. So I really just, I stepped out of that. I couldn't really do that. So my question is, why do you go to church? And my other question is, if your image of Christ or, Mary, mother of Jesus, was black, or say if your image was, of a black African Mary, would you still go? Would you be Catholic? Would you be, Protestant? What would you do? Or would you think that, oh, I don't like this religion at all? I do think that part of the attachment that black people have to like modern day Christianity is very heavily linked to colonialism, and less so about spiritual rejuvenation and so on, because oftentimes, I mean, more recently with the mega churches especially, it's been about like making money, being fruitful. I mean, that's all good. Everybody wants that. We need that, don't we, to live and get by. But in terms of like well-being and self-improvement, I'm not sure how effective the church has been on that. You know, in terms of even coping, living in a country that you're not like an indigene of that country. So how has the church really helped with that, or helped us to cope with that? Um, Whilst a lot of poor people, you're going to church and you're giving all your money, and some you're giving a lot there, not all your money, but you give a lot and you receive very, what are you receiving? I can't say you receive very little because it's not for me to say. But I do know that, I mean, back in the day, there was a lady that she was a new Christian, right? Because for me, there's a difference between new Christians and old Christians. So Christians of like my mother's generation have a very different way of being to modern day Christians like of this generation, my generation, and the generation after. Very different in temperament, very different kind of approach to things. So I remember when I, knew a new Christian, and she was really an avid tither, so she would always tithe. But every Monday at work, she kept asking to borrow money, and I'd be like, "Why'd you give them all your money then? And like, you've got no more money left to for anything, for you got nothing left." And I'd give her, but in a way, I was like, this is not making sense to me, that you're giving what you don't really have, and you think that in order to give, it's like you're trying to bribe God. Like, are you trying to bribe God to say, if I give you this, you give me back more? You understand? Because that was the way that church was kind of that was the doctrine of the church, to be honest. Like, you tithe that and you receive more in return. But I don't know, why are you Christian? If you are a Christian, why are you Christian? And has the church worked for you? Does it work well in your life? Would you embrace, if you're an African, would you embrace African spirituality as an alternative to this sort of the modern or the colonial interpretation of Christianity? Would you think about that? So let me know what you think. All right, peace.